What is going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great Tuesday evening. It's kind of late for me, so if you're on the West Coast, it's a little. It's about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Hope everybody's having a good evening. It's me. It's Bash. We're going to talk about the 49ers loss in Minnesota. It was, to say the least, disheartening and a little bit concerning. Some things came out of it. There's some fallout with injuries, things like that. So we're going to talk about all that and maybe look ahead a little bit to the Rams and what the Niners need to do, kind of avoid, losing two straight. So
I think I lost Aaron. Oh no! Can you guys hear and see me? Oh, do you hear me now? Hello.
I can hear you.
Okay, okay. For some reason you were talking, and then all I saw was just everything freeze up. so
Yeah, it's
yeah,
dealing with the internet.
yeah. This protocol we use, StreamYard, doesn't always operate to the fullest. So we apologize. Yeah. So what were you were saying something about us losing, and then everything froze. So
Yeah, it just you've had a chance to sit, marinate on the loss. Um, I mean, I'm definitely disheartened just because uh, you know, I got a little bit of that feeling in preseason and the off season that this could be one of those kind of seasons where like weird things happen and injuries and all that stuff. And then like week one came and it was like, oh wow, everybody's really encouraged. I was really encouraged, all that. And then this game happened. And I know it's one game and I know there's a ton of season left, all that. But my perspective changed a ton after this past Sunday's game. So I just wanted to see how you're feeling.
well, obviously I didn't feel good after the loss, but me, I'm just like a fan, and just like I'm a fan, but just like the team, you just have to shake whatever bad things happen in that game, and you have to learn. The team has to learn from their mistakes. I mean, the good positive thing is, I mean, sure they made a lot of mistakes, and we shouldn't have lost, but it's not like we weren't moving the ball downfield. Now we have to capitalize on moving down the field. We have to score some damn touchdowns in the red zone and not turn over on downs, or just not get sacked freaking six times. I mean, what's funny is I thought, we watched this game. I thought we were the team that got penalized the most, but they got penalized more than us. So 7 penalties to 4 penalties. But yeah, I mean, we were sloppy. It was just sloppy. The team came out looking flat. My assumption is that I don't want to blame it on too many things, but maybe just for the fact that they were on the East Coast time start, and they weren't up and ready for it like they thought they were. Maybe they should have all slept sooner, gotten more rest. I don't know, or gotten more pumped up for the game. I mean, it's 1 o'clock. It's kind of weird how Minnesota is part of the East Coast time zone. I think that's very, very odd. But basically, it was 10 a.m. over here on the West Coast, while they were pretty sure it was 1 a.m. over there. Sorry, 1 p.m. over there. So yeah, I mean, we moved the ball down the field. We were just making stupid mistakes. So fortunately, Debo get hurt. I didn't see him get hurt during the game.
Neither did
Um,
I.
yeah, I mean, jeez, man. I mean, if you want to talk about the details of the game, I'm gonna bite my tongue for a little bit and let you talk more. But I mean, yeah, a game like this we totally should have won, dude. And I don't believe in curses. I totally not believe that. And they easily could have won, but by the time they figured things out, it was way too late.
I just find it weird that like I'm listening to the post game and I'm listening to Bosa talk, and he said it was good. It was a wake up call, and I'm like, how do we need a wake up call in week two? Like, how are we in this position already where we need to be shaken out of our apathy because of what? It's week two in the NFL. How are you needing to be shaken out of whatever it is you were feeling in order to get yourself focused again? Did they go? I'm like, did they go into this game thinking it was going to be a cakewalk because of Sam Darnold? Because if that was the case, they failed miserably. They made him look like an MVP
It was
candidate,
Tom Brady out there against us.
right? And I just don't understand that because at one point in the game he was without his two top receivers and they were still shredding us through the air.
Yeah.
So when I hear stuff like that where a guy says we needed a wake up call, I that's beyond aggravating. I
The
just think that
secondary, the secondary looked terrible, like the worst secondary in the league, and their
yeah,
talent wise, they're way better than that.
right. I'll just say this: the players and the team took Steve Wilks and made him the scapegoat to lose the Super Bowl. Why we lost the Super Bowl, right? We sent him packing literally days after the game was over, right? out of town. He's the reason. If it wasn't for him, we would have won a championship, yada, yada, yada. Still feel that way after 2 weeks? Because I'm a little bit sus right now on Sorensen. And yeah, I know it takes a little bit of time for a guy to kind of grow with his players and kind of figure out strengths and weaknesses, all the cliche trash that they throw out there to give people excuses. But yeah, not the best defensive effort. And, you just look at that defense bash across the board, all the talent that they have, even if the secondary's got a couple holes here and there. And never in your wildest dreams did you think Sam Darnold's going to come and just shred the team and make us look like, bottom of the league dwellers like Carolina or something. But that's how the defense looked, especially the secondary.
Yeah, it's just so annoying, man. It really, really is. We have way too. I mentioned the secondary earlier. We have way too much talent in that secondary. Maybe when Diamador Lenore was telling the media that Darnold likes to throw the ball to me in a jokingly manner, maybe that hyped him up and got him motivated for this game, got him up for this game. Maybe I love Demon. I thought it was a funny soundbite, but maybe he shouldn't have said that because maybe it gave a vibe to the team like, don't worry, guys. We're just playing that guy. Remember how bad he sucked for us and how he was so mediocre and he couldn't hold Brock Purdy's jockstrap or whatever. But I don't know. He found a way to play the best game of his career, arguably, and make us look like crap. At that freaking it wasn't a Hail Mary situation, but I'll call it a Hail Mary pass. That they're backed up in their own fucking end zone, and Darnold's like throwing the ball fucking 55 yards in the air or some dumb shit, dude. And everybody's fucking out of position. I'm sorry, guys, if I'm swearing.
No, it's okay. The whole defense was out of position.
That happened. I was so irritated. I don't think there was even any pressure. There was no pressure. There was like he had a clean pocket. I mean, other than Bosa, I wouldn't say Bosa had constant pressure throughout the game. Maybe he did at points in times. But I mean, I'm not going to knock Bosa. 2 sacks. I predicted 2 sacks for him. It would have been nice if he got some help. Really would have been nice. Fred Warner, week 1 played out of his mind. Week 2, he literally stopped 2 touchdowns from happening, and he had a sack. So I'm not going to hate on Fred Warner at all. He's a monster, especially with Drake Greenlaw being out of the lineup. But I don't know. We're paying all this money to Javon Hargrave. I was really hyped up when we got him coming off of a 12.5 sack season with Philly. Does not look like the same player at all. I don't know. I guess he played an all-star defensive line that year and had that one breakout season and isn't doing much else after that. I don't know, man. It's just there's millions of ways you can point the finger to this game for the players, to the coaches to the players. So it sucked. I mean, I don't really have much of a positive spin on this game. I don't.
Yeah, I told my brother, I said, I really don't even know how to kind of watch or look at this team this season. Like, I don't know how to read them. They're a tough study right now. Like, what are we? What are we going to be? I can't tell. We can move the ball at times on offense, but we can't score touchdowns. We're like hot and cold on defense. The first game we stopped the run and they couldn't get any run going. And then, this game they could run and pass at will. So, and then there was talk, like, I forgot exactly what the soundbite was, but like, I think it was Charvarius Ward talking about how like all the defense has to play to the level. We got to learn to play to the level of Fred Warner. And it's like, why am I hearing this in week 2? Why are guys giving off this vibe of like they weren't playing up to their level that they usually play up to? Now you can give credit to Minnesota because they did some great things. Justin Jefferson, to me, is the best receiver in the NFL, probably, just head and shoulders, and he proved it in that game. But hearing people say that they need to up their level of play to match a guy on their own defense that they play with all the time, it boggles my mind. It's weird. I didn't get super mad watching this game. I was more in shock that what I was watching. I was more in shock of Sam Darnold being the second coming. And then to top it all off, before the stream tonight, I go and I hear something on a New York network, because he used to be a Jet, and the guy straight up said that he thinks that the 49ers let the wrong quarterback go, and that they should have kept Sam Darnold. And
no,
how it starts. They have one good game, and now all of a sudden he's the wrong quarterback for us, and that we should have kept Sam Darnold and stuff. So. Very disheartening performance. I thought they looked lackadaisical at times in that game. They took horrible angles on run defense. I mean, they were getting sucked inside numerous times where like the defense was completely swallowed up and they had no chance to get to the perimeter. So I don't know how much you said you watched the game on a replay, and you fast forwarded through all the bad stuff. So
well, I
you're
got
lucky.
home after this church and this big event we had, and I was like, oh damn, I want to watch the game live, but I was like, I kind of stuck, so I didn't really have a choice. But I did DVR it, and I had my phone off for a long, long time. I didn't touch my phone, and all that to go ahead and watch a loss. But so when I watch it on the DVR, it takes me about an hour because I skip through all the commercials, I skip through all the dumb talk, and I just forward to each play. And so at least I didn't have to sit in front of my TV for 3 hours for that trash. Is what I'm saying. That's the one positive spin I could put on this. The one thing that pissed me off, I noticed Purdy does this a lot, and maybe he was doing this a lot, particularly because what I was hearing was that when teams run advanced teams run advanced zone blitzes, that the quarterback has to sit and diagnose all these pre-snap reads much more so than when he faces typical defenses. So maybe this is why it was, but it was irritating me because, like, dude, time is not on our side. Let's have some fucking urgency. Why not do a no huddle offense? Something. How we ran a no huddle offense and not why? Like so many times I'm watching the game, I'm like, snap it. Like the clock is running down to like 1 second or 2 seconds, and Purdy does a really, really good job of now in a situation where we have to drain the clock. And we're the team that has a sizable lead. Purdy, I love Purdy. I mean, he does an excellent job of winding the clock down and getting the ball off with just as much time to get the playoff. I get that, but when you're the team that's down, that's especially the fourth quarter. Like, come on, guys, let's run that Chip Kelly hurry up offense that we were doing all season long, which was dumb. Chip Kelly, we had Chip Kelly, but in that situation, it would have been smarter. And I don't know, man. I don't know why they didn't do that. I don't know why Shanahan didn't choose to do it. I don't know. The time management was ridiculous because we ran out of time when we were about to catch up and win the game. That's what it was.
Proper 49ers said that Lombardi said there was not a lot of separation in that game.
I noticed.
And which, I mean, they have a really good scheme over there. They play really good defense. I don't know if you saw the end of the game, but Brock ran into the defensive coordinator in midfield and told him he had a hell of a scheme. So
it was Brian Flores.
Brian Flores. Some guys are bro. I mean, my brother's like, he sucked as a coach. Some guys, Bash, are really good coordinators. They are just meant to be coordinators, and they're fantastic at it. They're not head coach material. 2 years in a row, we go into Minnesota and we play like crap. And 2 years in a row, you know, we're the better team for sure. And we go in there and we play, you know, like you said, without a sense of urgency. I thought there's a lot of talk that Shanahan was out coached in this game. I just think that the Niners, this is what I'm saying here. The Niners and the Dolphins have a very similar offensive scheme, how they run it. It is predicated on movement and timing and window dressing, and it works really well when you're in the lead. Coming from behind with that type of offense is it's just not conducive. And Miami has the same problem as the 49ers do. They're a good front running team when they're smashing you and running on you and play actioning and all that stuff. But anytime they get into a game where they got to come back, it's not like your regular drop back pass offense where you drop back 45, 50 times and you got a guy who can throw. Now, Brock played well. A lot of people were like, oh, Brock had a bad game.
He got hit so many times and was getting rushed so many times, dude.
Right. He had a 101 quarterback rating. He had over 70% completion percentage. Mm-hmm. He had 2 bad plays, really. Maybe 3.
Where it flopped out of his hand, I was like, dude, we're losing this game. The flukiest BS was happening. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not. If you take a look at the game, and a lot of people are saying that, like I said, Brock's struggling. I thought he played relatively well. They moved the ball relatively well, but for some reason, and this is with Debo in the lineup and Ayuk and Kittle, they just can't find a way to get the ball in the end zone. Now, is this because of Christian McCaffrey being out? It very much may be. That's the situation. But you have to dealt with the cards you're dealt. I mean, you have Mason running all over people 2 weeks in a row. So,
can I address the elephant in the room?
Giant elephant, go ahead.
Yeah. I gave the guy a week 1 pass because I set the bar low for him week 1. Brandon Ayuk's got to step up, dude. I mean, I don't care, dude. I say, oh, you're talking bad about him. You're being mean to him. Why are you ragging on Brandon Ayuk? 4 catches, 43 yards in a game with no touchdowns in a game like this doesn't cut it, especially if you barely did anything week 1. Debo had 8 catches for 110 yards. And back to Brock really quick. 77% for completion percentage is really, really good considering the crappy pass protection he had. But Ayuk's really, really got to step up. For him to act like he's the best wide receiver in the NFL and demand all that crazy money, then you got to prove it on the field. Yeah, it might be the low hanging fruit, but I'm sorry, dude. Money talks, dude. Yeah. So back to Jordan Mason. He was awesome, dude. He was really, really nice. Now, Proper 49 put in the chat, Mason the jugs machine. Mason's hands do look very, very well improved. I don't know if he's the route runner that CMC is in the pass game. The respect that CMC gets in the passing game, and I don't expect Mason to be this guy. I really, really don't, because it's unfair. It's because CMC is basically Marshall Faulk. I mean, he could run really, really well and be an excellent receiver out of the backfield. Very few people are that good, have that skill. But yeah, so, again, back to Ayuk, dude, step it up, please, please, please. We need you really, really bad. Debo's going to be out. Unfortunately, we could have used Pearsall. He's out. But Chris Conley's got to step up. I'm not a big fan of Ronnie Bell. I'm not. But I guess he has to step up too. Juwan Jennings, who I like a lot, definitely has to step up and maybe get Kittle a bit more involved. And I'd love to see Terrace Marshall upgraded to the regular roster. I think Terrace Marshall has so much potential, and even the fact he's kind of been considered a bust, at least so far in his NFL career, he did prove, and his numbers show it, that he's one of the more effective deep ball type receivers in the league that can take the top off of the defense. And Ronnie Bell doesn't have that. Ronnie Bell doesn't have any elite skills. No. So if Terrace Marshall can somehow pick up this offense and prove to the coaches that he deserves to be on the field, love to see him out there. Again, it sucks to have Debo out. He looked really, really nice. But we got to stop being predictable with Debo, dude. We run the most predictable screen passes with the guy. The team, the defense knows exactly. I don't know how Brian Flores drew this up. He knows exactly where that damn freaking screen is, or at least he had the players coached up to do that, and they're just not effective. But yet, when we play other teams, their screens are so effective, and we're running ass backwards.
We get screened to death by teams. It's so amazing that we can't run a screen pass. I'm not going to be the guy that says, oh, you're getting paid a lot of money, you need to step up or whatever. But I mean, he's been non-existent for 2 games. I don't know if you saw the interview that him and Debo had, but something's going on with him. He just seems really lackadaisical and really disinterested and really not invested. So, yeah. Oh, we lost the green screen. Hold on a second, guys.
Give me a second.
Yep. Gotta have it's not a stream with me and Bashar without having technical difficulties go on during the stream. So, oh, look at that. Got Hulk Hogan.
I'm just gonna live with it because for whatever reason, StreamYard hates it when we stream together. They never let my camera run properly.
Yep, he lags and I go slow-mo. I go glitch. I lose my internet connection. Yeah, I just think that it's funny.
It's like the Minnesota curse. It's like the Minnesota curse.
It is. That's our stream has a curse every time we play. Yeah, Brandon Ayuk to me has been essentially non-existent the first 2 games. I don't know if you have to game plan to get him open or do more things to get him and Kittle involved in the offense. Like I said, they moved the ball. That's not the problem. They've moved the ball. If you watched the game early on, Bash, I was watching it live. Everybody was getting touches. Ayuk, Debo, Juwan Jennings, everybody was getting a touch in the ball. It was being spread around beautifully by Brock. They just, for whatever reason in the red zone, and I think a lot of it has to do with Christian McCaffrey not being here, they just can't put the ball in the end zone. And they're not really essentially without Christian McCaffrey. The Niners aren't like a team who could just bomb you down the field with big plays. That's just not the type of offense they run. That's not the type of players they have. So everything's got to be a really well thought out, really hard nosed drive to get into the end zone. And for whatever reason, they're just not able to cash in on touchdowns. And I mean, you're lucky it's early in the year and you have time to fix things and change things, but You're going to have to do it now without Debo, who's hurt, which is totally not a surprise. We're using him as a running back and a wide receiver. Nobody saw that coming, right? I mean, the guy's hurt every single year. No matter what training he does, no matter what kind of off-season workout he does, he always misses games all the time, no matter what. And it's usually the same type of injuries. So I'm not surprised Debo's hurt. I just didn't think it would happen this early in the season. But yeah, the Niners have some serious need of people to step up. They have enough players, man. Mason, Kittle, Ayuk. I mean, what else do you need? You don't have to have every single position be an all-star. So they have more than enough talent to get things going.
Exactly. Yeah, I've been saying this week in and week out. I said it as far as back as I believe the 2020 season, if I'm not mistaken, maybe the season that we lost to the Rams in the NFC Championship game.
2021.
I know Debo can be an explosive playmaker, but he's only an explosive playmaker if you're not predictable, and then he's only an explosive playmaker if you're not running him like he's Jerome Bettis. If you run him in space every now and then, fine. That's fine, and usually it tends to work. We used to run him on those Raheem Mostert type plays. Those I forgot they weren't called deep zones; they're called something else. Outside zone plays, outside zone running plays. But if he's running head first against linebackers, running head first against D linemen, and people are diving at his knees when he's running, guess what? All those shots that he takes at his legs and all those shots he takes on his body, we'll catch up to him. Even if he doesn't get injured, they probably slow him down in terms of his route running as a receiver. Now he had a good game. I'm not going to hate on his performance overall, but I'm just saying, like, protect the guy, and he ended up getting hurt. I didn't see it when typical 49er injury. You watch the game, a player pretty much has a decent game. You see him all throughout the game, and then you see him walk off the field, and then like 2 days later, they announce that he's gone for like 5 games. Typical 49er injury where it comes out of nowhere. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
You mentioned that Purdy did spread the ball around very, very well. I mean, he's over like I think it was like 8 people, maybe 8 different people caught passes from. I think it was 9 total. Actually, it was a lot, which is nice. But you think we'd win that way, but we didn't.
Yeah. Speaking of Purdy, I mean, a lot of people are saying that the pressure's on Purdy now. That now he doesn't have as many all-star players on this team, and now we'll get to see who the real quarterback is and if he's the real deal. What? Can you expound on that or expand on that? I know you get frustrated hearing that trash. For everybody who doesn't know, last year, before the season started, or for whatever, I think was it last year? It was last year. No, it was the season. It was the season that we started Trey Lance, first game in Chicago. Me and Bash were both like on the Trey Lance train of like, I think Trey Lance, if he's just given time and reps, he's going to do something, right?
Yeah, I mean, like that was supposed to be our future quarterback that was supposed to lead our franchise, and we invested God knows how many picks, and we hyped him up to be this 6'4" Russell Wilson type guy, and we all bought into the dream. At least I did, and it just obviously it just didn't pan out, man. It didn't pan out, and then we picked up a guy who did pan out right away. And look, people, they went through all that Joe Schmo about mumbo jumbo about, oh well, he needs time, he needs reps, he needs time, he needs reps, he needs time, and he needs reps. And then we throw some guy in there. He looks like he's had all the reps and had all the time. I mean, it was a no-brainer, dude. It really, really was. As much as I wanted Trey to succeed and be the man, it just wasn't going to happen on our team. And I don't think, honestly, after seeing him on the Cowboys, I don't think it's going to happen anywhere.
Really, and it's sad because we both were on that train, but we also both have been fully now committed to Brock Purdy. And I know we both, especially you're more demonstrative than me on here, but like this constant moving of the goalpost for Brock Purdy, the constant like, oh, he has to do this to prove he's a top 10 quarterback, or he has to play without no stars whatsoever. I mean, he's got to have a team that's bereft of talent. And then if he plays well, then we can say that he's a top 5 to 7 quarterback.
Yeah.
What do you say about all that?
Yeah, there's been certain naysayers all last year, and I'd show them whatever stat, not necessarily game stats, but like certain things that show us how efficient he is compared to other quarterbacks, and like he's the best in the league in all these efficiency stats, or over the past, nobody's had a better start in their first 2 years, and now it's actually 3 years. Than when it comes to Purdy and whatever stat line there is, like all these, he's he has the wins. He's putting up great stats. I mean, his composure is fucking great. But when has he ever had a game that really where he just sat back there and didn't get touched or was in fear of getting touched?
Right.
You know, he's good at scrambler. His fucking 10-yard split, what I believe was equal. So if he's not an elite, he doesn't have any elite traits. Right? His arm sucks, or he's not fast or whatever. Well, his 10-yard split is equal to that of Tyreek Hill's. So he does have quickness. He does have quick feet, and he can run when he has to. For the most part, he can diagnose plays pretty damn good and get rid of the ball quick. A lot of people are analyzing his game that he's been getting their ball a whole lot quicker than the rest of the quarterbacks in the league. Not so much his pass game, I guess, because the scheme threw him off a bit. So he was kind of holding onto the ball a little bit longer. But at the end of the day, 77%, 101 quarterback rating. I just think if we managed the clock better and the play calling was a bit better, we could have won. I would have helped if the O-line would have helped him out too, and we ran the ball well. I think we should go back to doing more play action passes. We don't do that too much. We run a lot of empty sets.
Were you thrown by the amount of passing that we came out doing in the last game? It was very pass heavy, that game plan.
We were behind. So I was like, okay, well, let's try to. I guess we got to pass, but it'd be nice to mix in the run a little bit more and just keep them more honest and again, play action, not so many empty sets. So.
Mark, you said it better than I can say it. Is the haters are going to hate Brock Purdy. He's a great QB. Listen, I'll tell you what it is. Here's it down in brass tacks. There is certain people within content creating community who have a lot of influence because of what they do. They're a beat reporter, and they have a lot of pull as far as like what fans think of like them compared to like some schmo like me talking about 49ers on the internet. They're going to go to the guy who has quote unquote connections or is in the know or is in the inner sanctum of the 49ers because he's a reporter every single day. Those are the people that spread a lot of this negativity and a lot of this like constant moving of the goalpost for Brock Purdy and still talking or making comments about Trey Lance, 2 years too late. And that's where a lot of that comes from. There's a lot of people that have a lot of pull who pull in a lot of numbers and a lot of money, and they got a lot of subscribers on YouTube, and people are going to go and they're going to listen and they're going to take what they say as gospel. They're not going to listen to a guy that has 8,000 subs. They're going to listen to a guy that has like 150,000 subs. So I understand that. And all I say is, whoever you watch on YouTube, learn to think for yourself. Watch games, pay attention, do research. Don't depend on other people to tell you what you think or what you should think about a player. When I watch Brock Purdy, do I think he's the greatest quarterback of all time? No. Do I think he's very capable and a very good quarterback on the 49ers? Absolutely. Would I have anybody else starting between the guys that we have in the building besides him? No. Was Sam Darnold the right choice to stay here and have Brock Purdy go? I mean, are you kidding me? So, I mean, I'm fine with Brock. I thought Brock played well. He had some tight windows he had to throw to in that game. He had to make some big boy throws, and I thought he played relatively well. It's until he wins a Super Bowl, and I'm sure even when he wins a Super Bowl, they're going to say it's because
all because of all the players and the defense and all the coaches, and everybody gets credit but him. It's just fucking ridiculous. I just want to read this stat line really quick because I almost forgot about it, and I had to look it up to double check myself on what exactly the stat line was. But I remember hearing it. It clicked something. I clicked when I heard it
yesterday on my stream, but I deleted the tab.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, it says most games with a passer rating of 100 or higher in the player's first 25 career starts in NFL history. Patrick Mahomes top of the list. Surprise, surprise. 18. So in his first 25 starts, he's had 18 games with a 100 QB rating. Number 2, Kurt Warner of the St. Louis Rams, 16. Who's number 3? Brock fucking Purdy, 15. Ahead of Carlson Palmer, ahead of Dak Prescott, ahead of Romo, ahead of everybody else in NFL history. To say he's not a good quarterback or he's not in the top 10 conversation or Trey Lance is better or he's not going to be worth the salary we're paying him, go learn football 101. I don't know what else to tell you, dude.
I think Brock Purdy's a fine quarterback. I just don't understand why everything has to be so black and white. It has to be so great or so bad, so good or so trash. Like, can a guy just be pretty damn good at his job and be part of a good system and has a great head coach? I mean, that's what he is. He's got a yes. Does he have a good system that he plays in? Absolutely. Does he have a great head coach? Absolutely. Does he have a ton of playmakers around him? Absolutely. But like, you're going to punish him for having all that, and you want to have him go to a team that is bereft of talent, like Steve Young. When he was in Tampa Bay, he sucked. There was no playmakers around him. All of a sudden, he comes to the 49ers, and a couple years after, Montana, he's here, whatever, he becomes a starter. He's an all-pro quarterback, making Pro Bowls and winning a Super Bowl and winning passing titles. And a lot of it had to do with a lot of different things: his talent, his coaching, the players around him, all that stuff. This whole stupid thing where we have to grade people based on the fact that they're not playing with a bunch of scrubs is
It's
just
his draft
ridiculous.
position because he's the last pick in the draft. He's not supposed to be good,
Right.
This guy's
Mark
go ahead.
says he has a question for us. Go right ahead, brother.
I think he's a new face. I don't recognize him, but welcome. And I put this up there, like and subscribe both channels. So yeah, appreciate it.
If you're on Twitter, if you're on X and you want to subscribe to 49ers First Takes or 49er Minded YouTube channel, please go right ahead. And if you're on X, jump over to YouTube. It helps the algorithms and all that stuff that makes my puny little YouTube channel eventually get found by people. So
you're the Brock Purdy of YouTube. I wish I was the Brock Purdy of YouTube. I'd love to be.
I am the Brock Purdy of YouTube. Like, well, I wouldn't say that. Well, whatever.
I was going to say one more thing before we get to this question. I am happy. Like when we watch the Monday night game, right? I'm watching it. What do I see? I'm not a big fan of Applebee's, but they do got a pretty good promo running around. Now, how did I know about it? Because Brock Purdy was in the damn commercial. So good for Brock for making his money. He's on the Ariat Boots commercial, and that commercial is really, really nice. Just the dialogue in it is really good. They did at first when I heard he was doing a commercial for a boots company. I don't care about boots. I don't wear them. I didn't really care. Okay. I watched. I was like, okay, cool. Toyota, great commercial with the Toyota. I drive a Toyota as well, so yeah, I'm happy Brock's getting his money off the field at least in promotions and all that. And, we're not really paying him all that much because he got drafted so damn low. But hey, happy for him, and I hope he does get paid by us. Why not?
A lot of people. Actually, let's answer Mark's question here. Who's the GOAT, Joe Montana or Tom Brady? Listen, I'm a Joe Montana guy all the way. I love Joe. He's my favorite 49er player of all time. You got to give Tom his props. He's got 7 Super Bowl championships. It's pretty damn good. And Tom has been one of the best, if not the best quarterback in many of those seasons. I'm a Joe guy, and I'm going to go with Joe based on the era that he played in and how much more difficult it was. I'm going based on my emotions here more than about fact. But Joe is my guy. He's my GOAT. So I'll put it that way. What about you, Bash?
The longevity alone tells you a lot about Tom Brady. It really, really does. Again, not a physically gifted quarterback like Joe. And another guy that we have isn't the most physically gifted quarterback either, and Brock Purdy. But yeah, I mean, Tom Brady, dude. I mean, sure, in the beginning, he was kind of more of a game manager when he first won. I get it. He wasn't an all-pro amazing quarterback right off the bat. And neither was Joe Montana in that first Super Bowl. And Joe Montana was just coming around too. So I love Joe Montana. For the 4-0 record, something you're never going to be able to take away from Joe. Sure, Brady's lost a couple of Super Bowls. I get it. But to jump on a whole new team in Tampa Bay and win, whole different coach. And then obviously the run they had with the Patriots was freaking amazing. They easily could have had they easily should have won at least one more Super Bowl in that Randy Moss year, and they didn't. I guess they just overlooked the Giants or something. And you could talk about the Spygate and all that other stuff, but at the end of the day, I mean, if Brady's jumping to a whole new team and he's still doing still dominating, and Brady did something with this game. I mean, early in his career, he didn't have much of an arm, and then he developed a really, really nice deep ball throughout his career.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the Niners. I love Joe Montana, but I'm not gonna. I feel like I'm being a homer if I pick Joe Montana over Tom Brady. I really, really do.
Right.
You know,
No, I mean,
seven.
if
He
you're,
almost has twice as many Super Bowls as him. Real talk.
he does. That's you have to be able to separate your fanhood and give a guy's props and appreciate the great. My nephew always said, "I'm not going to sit here and try to compare eras and stuff." He's like, "I'm just trying to. I'm living in an era where I'm getting to experience this greatness, and I'm glad to be a part of it." Like us when we grew up and we through the Jordan era, right? Like we were living through. You could say who's better, LeBron or him or Kobe or whatever, but I mean, for anybody who lived during that era, that watched games during that era, you'll never you're gonna always, for the most part, I'd say 9 times out of 10, say that Jordan was the greatest of all time. It's a lot of the people that are younger now who never watched it and only watched him on YouTube, or that'll say that, LeBron is a better player. I just think Jordan's influence, even now, all these years later, he hasn't been playing since, 2001, 2002, but he retired in 98 with the Bulls. His influence is still felt worldwide. He's like Muhammad Ali, um, Jim Brown, whatever, any player or any great athlete that transcends time in eras. Jordan is that guy. Um, so that's an indisputable, but still, it's an opinion. Joe, you're right. Joe played great. He 4 Super Bowls, no interceptions, 11 touchdowns,
And
70% completion
he didn't
percentage.
get hit. And well, he did get hit a lot, but he didn't have the rules helping him out. Like the rules help out the QB now. I did
Right.
get that part too.
But
But
yeah, I
yeah,
would give the edge to Tom, just based
yeah,
on longevity and the amount
yeah.
of chips he has.
The most
Cool.
mind-boggling stat for Tom Brady: first Super Bowl win 2002, last Super Bowl win 2021. That's amazing, dude. I'm sorry, you can never ever hate on that.
Red Jet, how you doing, my young lady?
What
Hope
about
you're
Red
doing
Jet?
well.
What's up? Is it like and sub?
Like and sub. Yeah, thank you very much. Let's see here. I want to talk about the secondary because I thought they played piss poor, and so did you. Two players come to mind: George Odom and Isaac Gadum. I don't understand what it is with the Niners anytime they sign a slot guy that he just sucks really bad. I don't know what the problem is, but Yadam, whatever you want to call him, he played absolutely trash. I thought Odom was laughably bad as well. I know at one point Odom was benched for Mustafa. Just we talked all off season, Bash, and we talked in the preseason about all our depth and how much depth we have, and this is awesome that we have all this depth. Now it's actually being tested. What was your take just watching that game and how awful the two of those guys played?
Yeah, I believe Yadam was the outside corner in the first game, wasn't he? I don't think he was actually a nickel guy. I believe Diamador Lenore was a nickel, and they
So what
have
was
him
he on the
listed.
outside?
Yeah, I think so. Someone correct. I didn't go back and rewatch the footage, but the first game they had him on the outside. Not so much sure about this game. I thought they would have Demo in the slot against Jefferson, and on that big touchdown play, the one I call Hail Mary pass, the one where they're backed up to their own end zone, and Darnold looks like the freaking greatest quarterback in NFL history on that deep bomb. Um, on that play, from what I was hearing, there's that George Odom was in the damn slot on Jefferson. I have no idea why. I thought you're supposed to be the deep safety, the free safety. I don't know what stupid scheme they were running on that damn play, and he was out of position on the play. Freaking Jair Brown was out of position. I believe Jair Brown was deep on that play. They both looked like ass on that play. They both looked terrible. It's unacceptable. I'm sorry. Sure, there was no pass rush, but I mean, there's got to be somebody back to stop that pass, dude. I mean, I don't get it. I don't know how interchangeable. If Jair Brown was a free safety on that play, I don't know how interchangeable our safeties really are. I don't know how much better things are going to be when Hufanga comes back because I don't know if we're going to get the real Hufanga or not. But
That's a
like
good point.
when I look at Mustafa and I look at Jair Brown, I look at Hufanga, I see all three of these guys. Now they're all different in their own ways, and they're all very, very good players. And Mustafa's on the rise. He's a rookie. I get it. He's not 100% proven. He had really, really nice preseason. Jair Brown was really nice last year. Had a good game in the Super Bowl, and we all know what Hufanga can do when healthy. But just there's a question mark with the health and how he's going to look. But who of these guys can really, really be a deep free safety type of guy? Can they do better than what George Odom's doing? Not that George Odom's a world beater, but we had I'm forgetting the guy's name,
Tyshawn Gibson.
Yeah, Gibson. Gibson was excellent for us last year.
Yeah, he was
at free safety. He was
a lot of
really
turnovers.
nice. And the year before too, we led the league in interceptions last year. So secondary's got to find a way to bounce back. And Charvarius Ward had his worst game I've ever seen as a Niner. Everybody just looked like garbage. They all look like crap, dude.
Yeah. The minute you start giving and singing praise to people, it's like on cue they're going to have a horrible game.
And if Yadam ends up being terrible from here on out, don't be surprised if Renardo Green is thrusted into the lineup. Do not be surprised.
Yeah, I don't want to wait either. Like, make that change quickly.
Make that change. I see the man in the mirror. Oh, I'm talking to the man in the mirror.
I just can't believe that you can give up a 97-yard touchdown pass. That
was one of the nightmares, dude.
That was. There's been a lot of times in a lot of games where the 49ers have been backed up. I've had a team backed up where they've thrown a deep bomb and they've, but like that was like the most, like you said, it was a nightmare play. A nightmare play. 97-yard touchdown pass. Sam Darnold. We made him look.
It sounds so stupid. When you say it, when I hear you say it, sounds like some ridiculous bullshit coming out of somebody's mouth.
As if it
never happened. Yeah, as if it never happened, if it wasn't reality.
Unacceptable. One thing that is without a shadow of a doubt is how great Fred Warner's playing right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I wanted to get your opinion on how great Fred saved a couple touchdowns in this game. Yeah, amazing. He had a punch out in the first game of the season too.
He's the master of that punt, man. That first punch that he did in the first game, man. Whoa, he just went. Well, he was like Mike Tyson on that. I was like, damn, look at him. He hit the ball right there. I've seen plenty of players try to attempt strip fumbles and attempt those punches, and they're completely unsuccessful. They're completely unsuccessful when they do it. But yeah, he's got it down, man. And he just looks like a man possessed these first two games. I really, really hope he can carry it out for the season. And assuming we get in the playoffs, we get far in the playoffs, that's the guy possessed. I'm still baffled that we did not have him on fucking Travis Kelce in the Super Bowl when Greenlaw was out. Greenlaw was out, did a great job against Kelce prior to the injury. We have Oren Burks running around like a chicken with his head cut off, looking like total ass the whole fucking game, and Kelce just having his way with our team. Like, okay, you got Warner, put him on there. Either he stops him or nobody else does. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been critical of Fred Warner at times, and said that Dre Greenlaw was a better linebacker, or at least that I liked him.
He's my favorite.
I liked him a lot better just because of his physicality. But Fred Warner is definitely changing my mind, at least early on this year. He seems like the only player who's playing with any urgency on defense. There's a lot of can't put my finger on it. I mean, the only way I can go with this one, and where I'm going to go with this, is there a bit of a Super Bowl hangover going on right now? Are guys just not with it? Are they listless? Are they holding on to what happened in February and not able to move on? Are players tired? Are they just distracted? Like what? Yeah, it's a long season. I know it was just one game, but that game gave me really bad vibes for how the season could go. So, and then like I said, the Debo injury, of course, big surprise. Debo's hurt. Just overall, I feel like there is a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover kind of on this team right now. We felt it in preseason and training camp. We talked about it. And then, like I said, the first game kind of like distracted us and we're like, oh, maybe not. And then it came back with vengeance in this last game.
Yeah, I don't know if it's much of a hangover. Just back to the linebackers really quick. I don't know, man. I'm not a big fan of this Devondre Campbell guy. I really am not a fan of him. I don't know if any of the young linebackers like D Winters can take over or Bethune. I don't know, man. He was a Pro Bowl player not too long ago. I get it. I totally understand that he has done a lot of great things at one point in his career, not too far back, but he's not looking like that guy right now.
No.
I mean, it matters what he's doing for the Niners, not what he did for the Packers. So we're going to see where that goes, whether he gets benched or not. But he's not looking too great. He's not looking like a veteran, that's for sure.
I never thought I'd play against. I'd rather have him on the field than
Yeah.
Campbell.
Whenever I doubt Flanagan Foles, he finds a way to do something that okay. Now I see why he's on the team. So not my favorite player, but him and Warner are like actually like best friends supposedly. So that helps. I was pretty pissed that Jalen Graham got cut, and some idiots on Twitter like, oh, why are you saying that? He did nothing. He's done nothing. He's done nothing. Did you watch any of the preseason games? I mean, all the analysts were praising him pretty much, and everybody pretty much said that watch whoever picks him up is going to get a potentially starting linebacker. And lo and behold, Washington football team, whatever they're called now, they pick him up, and Adam Peters happens to be their GM, so that was one of the guys he drafted or had his eyes on.
Yeah. I still think we have enough talent to win. I don't think that should be an issue. I just think that it's effort. A lot of it is effort and just play calling on defense and just.
I'll tell you this though. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just think it comes down to effort. I feel like we are way, way talented, and we shouldn't have to like the level of play, at least defensively, in that game in Minnesota was just unacceptable on all levels. You don't have to have every single player be an all-star. We have enough guys. We have enough bullets in the barrel to compete defensively. I'm the defensive line not getting any rush other than about 3 plays, 2 with Bosa, 1 with Yetur Gross-Matos. Unacceptable. I mean, come on.
Gross-Matos had 0 tackles, by the way.
No, he had the 4th sack.
Oh, but when I looked at the stat line, it said 0 tackles.
It didn't give it to him? Oh, okay.
I guess not.
In the game, they called that a sack when he forced the intentional grounding.
Oh, that's right. He did. It just wasn't counted. Really? So they credited him with a sack? Because I looked at the stat sheet. Literally just said 0 tackles.
They said in the broadcast, so maybe the broadcast was...
he did good on that play. I mean, to his credit, he did well on that play, but not much else. Right. It was just a weird Sunday. Let's be honest, though, man. I mean, let's look at some of the games that were happening. The big one that stands out like a sore thumb, other than us losing and looking like a bunch of idiots, the Las Vegas Raiders 26-23 over the fucking Ravens. The Bengals almost beat the Chiefs, dude. They lost by 1 point.
And what was the reason why they lost?
I heard. I didn't see the highlights. You know what? When the Niner game was so bad, I turned off my TV for the rest of the night. I didn't bother watching any highlights or anything. But I heard the Zebras.
That mindset too. I was a little bit of that mindset too.
Yeah, I heard the Zebras were the 12th man. Was that true?
Yeah. Well, I think it was a defensive pass interference. He did get there early, but it just happens so many times with Kansas City that even when it's a real penalty, you're like, the refs are in on it.
They catch so many breaks, dude.
They do. They catch a ton of breaks.
It's sickening.
Yeah. What about the fact that the Cowboys got crushed by New Orleans, man?
I knew I missed a game on the little thing I was looking at. Okay, 44-19, dude. That's crazy, man. That is nuts.
That's what I mean. Like, if we could just get our head out of our ass.
Yeah.
I feel like the NFC is going to be like this all year. I feel like everybody's going to be close, at least for now.
Detroit Lions lost to the Buccaneers. Yeah.
What's that?
Detroit lost to the Buccaneers.
Yep. Like I'm saying, like it's gettable still. This is a gettable season.
Yeah.
We've just got to figure some things out. It is a really weird vibe season right now. I just feel strange about some things, and I can't exactly put my finger on what makes me feel uneasy about this season, but it does have the 2020 vibes. So, for certain, I'm not going
to go far back to 2021, the 2020, because our quarterback was freaking Jimmy back then, and I just think regardless, we'll still do much more with Purdy.
Right, but I'm just saying that we already have 2 guys on our offense that were big contributors last year, who are both out, and one could be out significant amount of time, and the other one, as usual, he'll probably miss about 2, 3, 4 games, like usual, and we're just going to have to see if Coach Shanahan can find a way to get other players involved that are not named Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel. You gotta figure things out. You have to be a well-versed coach. You can't just depend on a couple guys and say that you're in a great offensive mind. So
they are, in my opinion, they are figuring things out as far as getting yards. They just have to figure things out in the red zone and not opt for stupid field goals or not score any points at all. That's what's really boiling out down to.
Juwan Jennings. I don't understand why you don't throw it up to him in the end zone.
They better haul ass in fucking red zone drills all week long, dude. I'd be like, this is the red zone. 20 yards out, find a way to get the ball in the damn end zone. the coaches and the players all have to work hard and figure that part out. And now keep in mind that the first 4 weeks of the season, if we come out 3-1, I still think we're in a pretty good standing. So even though this game looked really, really bad, looked really, really shitty, and some people have gotten hurt, it's an 18-game season. We'll have some guys coming back eventually. Right. I can't wait to see. I wish we had Pearsall healthy right now. I really, really want to see what he can do. They said the moment he stepped on the field, he was running routes just as good as they thought he would. He was connecting with Purdy, and then we barely got to see him in the practices, and we didn't get to see him for preseason. So.
This is going to be the perfect opportunity for him too, and Cowing. You have, you have Brandon Ayuk all up in his feelings and sucking and playing bad. We talked about this in the preseason about like guys might get opportunities. One before we said if Ayuk, the situation doesn't get resolved, that other guys would get opportunities. Well, Ayuk's back, but he's not playing well. These guys still, if Kyle decides to go with them and play them, they're going to get opportunities, and let's just hope to God that they are able to cash in on those opportunities, because then it's not such a big deal if we lose a Debo for 2, 3, 4 weeks, because we have 2 young receivers that can make plays. So I'm really holding out hope, especially for Pearsall, that he's that dude, because I feel like if he is, that's better for us offensively, because it just gives us another weapon that everyone's going to criticize us for, but still, who cares? And then, when Ayuk rounds into form and if Debo's healthy and Kittle, we have more than enough weapons to still move the ball and get things done. And Mason's played amazing. He's ran the ball amazing. So
Mason actually had some really nice pickups on the passing game, and picking up blitzes and the pass blocking. So, which surprised me because there were numerous reasons why he wasn't able to get on the field last year, and I think that was one of them.
Yeah, I think the Rams are a gettable team right now. Their 2 top receivers are out.
Yep.
They have some offensive line issues. I forgot.
If you think our injuries are bad, look what they got, man.
Yeah. The Niners have no excuse to not go into LA and get a win. There's just no excuse.
And can McKivitz play to the point where Dominic Pooney doesn't have to block 2 guys on each play?
Please.
I'm sick of seeing that. I'm sick of what I'm even more sick of is when McKivitz plays the Matador and lets the guy literally run right by him without any contact at all, without any engagement whatsoever, and Purdy looks like he's going to get his head ripped off.
Right.
I hate that. Hate seeing
that.
The
whole offensive line played bad in that game. Even Trent Williams had a rough game.
6 sacks is unacceptable.
Unacceptable. If you want to keep your quarterback healthy, you better pass protect better than that.
Yeah, and can we talk about special teams really quick? When you mentioned Jacob Cowing, I loved watching him in the preseason, but that muff punt was so bad. It made us look like such a piss poor team, and we luckily somehow recovered. I forgot who it was that recovered it. We luckily somehow got on the ball.
And then, of course, the block punt.
The block was terrible. And then Wisnowski's standing around like, "Ooh, I don't know," and like, yeah, you might as well. Can you try to dive on the ball? Like.
We always gloss over special teams when we have a big win or we do well in a game, but it always seems to rear its ugly head in a close game too, like the Super Bowl. The fumble on was it a kick return or a punt return? I forget. So it definitely is a big deal. Yeah, you're right. Especially, Jake Moody's playing well.
Yeah, when we do have him kick, he does. Well, I don't know who you're referring to, Proper 49er, if you want to explain that, about his fiance's posting on TikTok. I'm not sure who that's about. I was just curious.
I think he might be talking about Pearsall.
Maybe, I don't know. Well, at least Pearsall got the fans off of his back because he had people calling him, Dante Pettis, Jalen Hurd, and all this other crap. And you know me, I was like, you guys had me on, and I was just like, dude, let's just wait to see what he is when he's on the field first. And then, unfortunately, right when he was supposed to get ready, he freaking gets shot. Which really, really sucked. Which is
let's just be
almost
happy
lost
that he's
his
alive.
Damn life, dude. That was a nice moment though. Week 1 when the cop was on the field and the doctor was on the field and he gave him hugs and they all took pictures together. That was a very nice moment. And hopefully he can feel the fire, use it as fuel to the fire, and the team can rally behind him too. We need something. We need some type of motivation.
What do you think about the Arizona Cardinals?
You know what? I saw that stat line. They put up some crazy points, right? They whooped on the Rams, right?
They smacked the Rams.
Yeah, I didn't watch.
Kyler looks like Kyler
Russell
Murray
Wilson.
again.
Hate it when he looks like that. Hate it when he plays us and he runs around like a
I
little
know
baby
we are
that
so
stole,
bad at
stole
playing
somebody's.
defense on. Yes,
He looks like I
100%.
call him Pac-Man because he's got this gigantic head and a tiny little body. Oh man, that's the last thing we need. Some little guy running around like a little baby, who stole.
I
like,
call it's Sandlot football. There's no rules.
yeah.
If you run around enough in a circle, someone's going to break open. People are like, oh,
Yeah.
wow, what a throw. Well, yeah, if you're able to, be a whirling dervish in the pocket and miss, you know what I mean? Like, come on.
He runs so fast. Remember we said that a few weeks ago?
And he runs so fast. What are we talking about? I totally
You're talking about Trey Lance.
Oh, yeah, all the people that were in love with him. He runs
no,
so
you said
fast.
he runs really fast. He runs really fast. Yeah, close. Okay, so the proper 49 said it was Brandon Ayuk's fiance posting on Twitter. So yeah, he's I don't want to sound like a broken record. I really don't, but I hope he's watching. I hope his fiance's watching some way, somehow. Or oh, look at these guys talking bad about him. Yeah, we're talking bad about you because you pouted and whined 2 days after the Super Bowl in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, your sunglasses on. That was when he first pissed me off. Like, bro, the team is mourning because we just lost a game as a team. Think about your players in the locker room, what we can do better as a team or what we should have done as a team. And then he's like, oh, they forgot who brought him there. They forgot this. Oh, I just want to go to a team. It's not about the money. I just want to go to a team that can win a championship. And like, you're totally slamming the team that drafted you. You know what I mean? And has worked hard to help you get to where you need to be. And I was just so mad at him. And then he finally freaking signed. I'm like, okay, good. Get it over with. Good. You signed. We're in camp again. We're ready to get things rocking and rolling. And like the guy who acted like he didn't need, hey, I'm going to practice in this fucking park with a gigantic 20-foot, tree or whatever, right. and act like that's gonna help you while you're not at camp. You know what? Nothing's different than being at camp. Nothing will equal to being at camp.
Last time I checked, there's not giant oak trees or maple trees or whatever those ones are in those forests, those gigantic sycamore or whatever on the football field. So yeah, there was an interview that they did today. There was him and Debo, and they look like lackluster, unmotivated, like they didn't want to answer any questions.
I didn't see this. I missed it.
Ayuk looked like he was half asleep in the interview, like just completely disengaged, with his horrible body language that he always has. Like,
was he half asleep when he was making those dance videos after other receivers in the league were signing big contracts because he's knowing he's going to get paid some way, somehow?
I never saw that.
You never saw that when like they'd announced like Amon-Ra, St. Brown got paid this much money, and next thing you know, like Ayuk's doing a dance in front of the camera because look,
and he ended up not getting paid.
He did get paid. He did get paid though. He
not
got
as much as those guys. I mean, he got paid. He got paid more than number.
He got paid more than Amon-Ra. I think CeeDee Lamb didn't get paid more than him. If he was going to get CeeDee Lamb money, I was going to go, damn, that would be crazy. Yeah, I mean, I don't even like to talk about players' contracts and all that. It's just the fact that he missed so much damn time, and that's right. Proving on the field.
It's showing with him and Trent, especially him.
Yeah, week 1, Trent, I was like, whoa, okay. He looks like he hasn't skipped a beat, but I guess it caught up to him.
Yeah, they have a long season ahead of them. They still have a lot of games that they could win. I feel like the division is going to be a lot more difficult this year than it has been in the past. Rams included, they're going to get healthy at some point, and then all of a sudden we're going to be like, oh my God, the NFC West is really tough. So I think they have a chance to go 5-1 in their first 6 games. And they got to get their crap rolling in the right direction because in October we got Kansas City, and that itself is going to be a whole other thing to talk about because it's the rematch of rematches. And we haven't I can't even remember the last time we beat the Chiefs. It's got to be going back a long time.
I believe it's when they had Alex Smith and it was at Levi's, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's been but as far as like beating the Chiefs when they're really, really good.
We never beat them. They were still okay that year, but they weren't the Patrick Mahomes Chiefs, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, we've kind of discussed everything. I am looking forward to this game with the Rams as a get-right game. Niners always take over Levi South. I would be interested to see what the numbers are later in the week as far as like the attendance and what that's going to be. Niners still have enough players to go and get it done, man. I don't want to hear anything about, we don't have this guy or that guy. We still have Mason. We still have Ayuk. We still have George Kittle. We have more than enough weapons. We have Juwan Jennings. Just got to go there and take it, man. We're the better team right now. We're the more healthy team, which is kind of crazy to say. But their 2 top receivers are out, and their offensive line is injured. So there's really no excuse to not go into LA and get a substantial victory by multiple touchdowns. Personally, that's what I think.
Yeah, and I apologize for those who watched my channel yesterday because for some reason, I thought the game that we play the Rams in their stadium was going to be in December. I must have read the schedule wrong. So I do apologize for that, which is unfortunate because I was going to try to plan to come out to LA in December, but I definitely got to scratch that off the list. So I missed the boat on the Rams game, unfortunately. But I was saying that, they're going to play at Levi's. So I was partially wrong because we are playing in Levi's South. So, Niner fans got to come out rocking like they normally do in Levi's South. I refuse to call it by its other name. We got the home field. We're going to have the home field advantage. It's going to feel just like a home game. It will be a home game. It's a home game. We own there's way more 49er fans in California than any other fan base. You live in California. I lived in Southern California for 2 years. Maybe I saw one Rams jersey the whole time I lived there. If anything, more so than seeing Rams fans, I used to see that one dude that played for the Rams. I ran into him. I saw him at least like 4 or 5 times. Forgetting his name, that offensive tackle, Jackie Slater, Hall of Fame offensive tackle. I met him once, and I used to see him in public a lot. But I saw him more than I saw actual Rams fans. So Niners own California. Let's just do this. Let's find a way to bounce back. Use it as a springboard. Let's get Pearsall healthy. Debo, let's have a miraculous recovery. Ayuk, you're not injured. Play up to what your salary dictates. Juwan Jennings, let's do it.
Play like you have a pair of testicles. That's it. Play like you have testicles. Stop playing like you know what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
Man up, dude. Sack up. Let's go. The season started. Let's go. We have games to win. Look, nobody said that this year was going to be easy. The Niners had probably the most perfect chance to win the Super Bowl last year. Everything aligned. Injuries. I mean, offensively, we were awesome. Defensively, maybe we were down a little bit last year. But yes, last year was the most perfect situation, and we didn't get it done. So if we're going to do it this year, it's going to be it's going to be difficult. There's not going to be a lot of things going our way. We already have a ton of injuries to start the season. So freaking sack up. There's enough talent on this team to win games. I'm just so sick of I'm just sick of this feeling right now where I have this negativity around my mind about the Niners. And then the more I look at them and the more I watch, the more I analyze, they have more than enough talent. There's no excuse. Does Brock Purdy have to step up and play better? Yes, he does. Is he going to get anybody on his side if he plays well in the next couple games? Probably not. There'll still be a reason why Brock Purdy's playing well.
They'll go back to the bad game, the game he lost. They'll go back to that.
And they'll do that like they did last year with the Browns game. They'll just keep
or the Ravens game. They were still stuck on the Ravens game.
Yep. But we're going to get out of here, guys. I will be back probably tomorrow with Raj of RSF 49ers. So stay tuned for that stream. Anything going on your channel, Bashar?
Yeah, gonna have he goes by the name of I Need the Cheese from On Base Soil. Really good guy. He's gonna be on tomorrow. We're gonna do it at let me double check. I believe it's at 8:00 tomorrow. And that's gonna be a lot of fun on my channel. And then on Fridays, Raj and I are gonna be on possibly at 8:00 or 9:00. Dude, the time didn't get set up right just yet, but we'll definitely be on. I'll be on his channel. He'll be on my channel, so to speak. And yeah. What's up, Mariah? We'll see you, Mariah.
Oh, that's Mariah.
Yep.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, Mariah. Go back like babies and pacifiers. Remember that song?
Yes, I do. I let you said it before I could. I didn't.
But at least I didn't do it with the old dirty bastard type voice. I've done it before like that.
Yeah, I know.
And then it freaks people out because there's certain people in the chat that never heard of old dirty bastard. Apparently, and they had no idea what I'm talking about. That man was
collecting welfare checks while he was a millionaire.
Old dirty bastard. Like the other day, my friend who grew up in Detroit hit me up, and we were just talking about old school hip hop. It just randomly came up, and he's like, "Oh, what do you think of the Wu-Tang Clan?" I was like, "Oh man, I like the Wu-Tang Clan. They were cool. They weren't my favorite, but they go, yeah, I was the only one that listened to the Wu-Tang Clan out of all my boys in Detroit." I'll tell you this: the reason why I listened to the Wu-Tang Clan was Old Dirty Bastard. That was my guy, dude. He was a shit. Yeah, he did. He was a shit. He was collecting welfare checks while he was in rap videos and making a career as a rapper. Hey, Whatever. And unfortunately, he's no longer here with us. So R.I.P.
Yeah. R.I.P.
Wait, what was this about? Like you're smoking
I don't know.
something?
R.I.P. Peace, like peace and love or whatever.
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
That's called the Rizzler. There's like this kid that's on TikTok right now called the Rizzler.
Yeah,
Some
I'm
fat.
missing out on so much because I don't have TikTok. Every day somebody
He does
mentions
this thing where
TikTok
he
to
goes.
me. Okay,
I don't know. You
okay.
have to look up the Rizzler. You'll see what I mean. It's
Proper 49er dropped the ODB line in the chat. Older bastard like shimmy shimmy. Yeah, that was one of his famous songs.
But that's going to do it for us. And we'll be back next week. Hopefully, we'll be talking about a victory 2-1 on the season.
Yeah, that'd be nice for a
This
change.
is a weird taste in the mouth because I feel like I said, the Minnesota game is a game that I felt like we were going to kind of break the streak, kind of change some of the narratives or whatever. And we did everything but that. So hopefully the defense remembers to actually play on Sunday. And offensively, we can score some touchdowns because, like I said, we have a chance, at least early in the season, to kind of get some victories under our belt. It's really up to us. So, everybody, have a great rest of your evening. Stay safe and healthy. Me and Bashar will see you guys next Tuesday at probably the same time, 10 p.m. Eastern time. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you later.
See ya.